Well, the 2020 NBA season has finally come to a close, which means we'll now be shifting our focus onto the offseason and the events coming up in that regard. It's also been a month since the last installment of the mock drafts that we do here on this channel, so it seems like the perfect time to update it based on the many rumors that have begun to swirl surrounding the prospects and the teams picking in the lottery. As we get closer and closer, teams will hone in more and more on who they want, and our job is to predict those selections. Before we get started though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. To start things off, the Minnesota Timberwolves are in possession of the #1 pick, and with it, they'll select LaMelo Ball. According to Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report, the Wolves will be looking to trade down in the draft with this pick, but if they aren't able to do so, several sources are reporting that they're leaning towards taking Ball here, and I'm a very big fan of this selection. I think Ball has the most talent in the draft and has the most upside, and right now, the Wolves' top priority should be adding the top talent regardless of fit. There will be some complaints about his fit alongside D'Angelo Russell in the backcourt, with both of them being subpar defenders, but Ball's ability to playmake for others at an elite level will actually work out well with D'Lo in my opinion, because Russell is more of a scorer by nature. Ball has terrific court vision, size, passing ability, ball handling skills, and shot creation for someone at his age, and every year he gets better and better. With the second pick in the draft, the Golden State Warriors selected James Wiseman. Many mock drafts throughout the pre-draft process probably have Anthony Edwards as a lock to go top 2, but again, now that we're getting closer and closer to the draft, reports are continuing to come out about who teams are preferring, and the Warriors don't seem to be very big fans of Edwards. They, too, will be looking to trade this pick, but I'm not here to predict any trades before they happen, and if they stay put, I firmly believe they'll be looking to add a big man, and Wiseman's likely on the top of their list. He was an elite high school prospect who didn't really get the opportunity to showcase himself fully in college because of his suspension scandal, and there really is no telling if he can hold his own at this level due to the severe lack of tape we have on him playing against top-tier opponents. But he did look great in the few college games he played, and he has the size, length, and agility NBA teams love from big men. With the third pick in the draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Anthony Edwards from Georgia. Edwards' fall ends here, as the Hornets are in no position to nitpick about acquiring talent. Hornets will more than likely be selecting the best player available, and Edwards falling to them would be their best case scenario. Edwards has an NBA-ready body, an NBA-ready ability to score the basketball and create his own offense, and he's more than capable of taking over a game. He does need to improve his motor, as some scouts seem to be worried about the motivation that he has when he plays and whether or not he's a hard worker, but the talent is surely there. He's likely the best scoring prospect in the class, and the Hornets were the third worst offense in the NBA last year, so he also fits a major need for the team because he brings instant offense. With the fourth pick in the draft, the Chicago Bulls select Isaac Okoro from Auburn. Over the last month or so, Okoro is someone who I have really become much higher on, and I absolutely love the attitude he brings to any team. He's one of the hardest workers in the class, he has the fire inside him to compete hard and do whatever it takes to win, and he brings the versatility on both ends of the floor that I think fit perfectly with a team in need of a young wing player, and it just so happens that the Bulls will probably be looking to draft a wing. Okoro can play 1 through 4 on offense, and he can capably defend any position, and he's legitimately the best wing defender in the draft. He still needs to improve his shooting ability, but with how hard he works, I have no doubts that he'll improve there over time, and he can come in and immediately make the Bulls a better team. With the fifth pick in the draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Obi Toppin from Dayton. Toppin finished the college season as the Player of the Year, and his ascension as an NBA prospect has been incredibly fun to watch. His explosive athleticism helped him entertain on a nightly basis at the college level with high-flying dunks, but he's also a highly skilled player that can produce both inside and out. He has terrific touch around the basket that made him one of the most efficient inside scorers in the country, and he even has a serviceable outside jumper to space the floor how NBA teams want from their power forwards. The Cavaliers do still have a logjam at both big man positions, with Kevin Love, Andre Drummond, and Tristan Thompson still being on the roster, but this pick is made with the long view in mind, because those players that I just named likely won't be there that much longer. With the 6th pick in the draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Deni Avdija from Israel. The Hawks should probably be searching for players that can take some of the load off of Trae Young's back on offense, and Deni might not be a traditional ball handler and playmaker, but at 6'8", he actually brings a very intriguing ability to playmake as a ball handler at the next level. He's a very good ball handler that makes smart decisions and sets teammates up well, and that kind of versatility could make the Hawks offense even more dangerous. He does need to continue to improve his jump shooting, as he was subpar in that area last season, but he has the mechanics of a good shooter, so the percentages should rise over time as he gets more comfortable. With the 7th pick in the draft, the Detroit Pistons select Onyeka Okongwu from USC. I've made this point in mock drafts in the past, and it's still something that I can see happening, being that the Pistons have a decision to make regarding breakout star Christian Wood and his impending free agency, and if they choose not to give him the payday that he'll be looking for, then Okongwu would be a very solid second option to replace him and bring in as a player on a rookie contract. Okongwu is the best defensive prospect in the draft of all the big men, and it's not just because of his prowess as a rim protector. Similar to Bam Adebayo, Okongwu can comfortably switch out onto the perimeter and hold his own against quicker and smaller opponents because he is unbelievable when it comes to lateral quickness and his defensive IQ for a big man. With the 8th pick in the draft, the New York Knicks select Tyrese Haliburton from Iowa State. I know every year Knicks fans want to be the ones making a big splash in the draft and take the biggest names, but I really do believe they need to accept the fact that the team will likely be looking to bring in a safer pick this year, and Haliburton is a great option for their hole at point guard. He's not a flashy player by any means, but he's smart, he's efficient, he's productive, and he's impactful, and that's the kind of player they need after whiffing on several picks in the past few years. With the 9th pick in the draft, the Washington Wizards select Killian Hayes from France. The Wizards will be getting John Wall back this year after injuries held him out of last season, so picking another point guard may seem redundant on the surface, but there's no guarantee that Wall will be back to his prior form, injury might strike again, and if the team can't find success with him and Beal, then they may look to the trade market. And Hayes would be a very strong insurance policy for the backcourt, and he would be a good player to develop for the future. Hayes is a good 6'5" with an advanced ability to create space off the dribble. He'll be able to play either guard spot on both offense and defense. He's someone who can make an impact off the bench early as he develops, and down the road, I can definitely see him as a starting point guard because of his scoring and playmaking ability. With the 10th pick in the draft, the Phoenix Suns select Devin Vassell from Florida State. The Suns showing in the bubble makes me believe that they're on the verge of finally taking that next step as a playoff contender, and by bringing in the best 3-and-D prospect in the class, they'll be even better. You can never have too many guys that can defend multiple positions and shoot the ball well from the perimeter, and as we watch Mikal Bridges begin to emerge, Vassell could very well follow his lead and make for a very scary front court defense alongside DeAndre Ayton. It's especially promising because Vassell's offense goes far beyond just spot-up shooting, and he's sneakily good as attacking the basket as well. With the 11th pick in the draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Aaron Nesmith from Vanderbilt. Nesmith is, to put it simply, one of the best shooters in the entire draft, if not the best shooter in the draft. In college last season, he made a ridiculous 50% of his threes, and his sharp shooting will be something any NBA team will value, especially a franchise as smart historically as the Spurs have been. Nesmith's movement without the ball frees him up for a ton of open looks, he's a smart cutter, and if he has any little bit of space, he's confident shooting it. With the 12th pick in the draft, the Sacramento Kings select RJ Hampton from the NBL. Hampton, like LaMelo Ball, played in the Australian Basketball League this year, and the experience against grown men in one of the best leagues in the world was super valuable to his growth. Hampton admittedly had an inconsistent year there, as any youngster would, and there were concerns about his jumper, but he's an explosive athlete with a tremendously quick first step, and he was still able to successfully attack the basket because of it. He's been working with former NBA champion Mike Miller in the offseason, and his shooting has taken great strides moving forward. So for a Kings team that might be trading away Buddy Hield this offseason, Hampton could be a good replacement. With the 13th pick in the draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Saddiq Bey from Villanova. Bey is the ultimate Swiss Army knife prospect who can give you a little bit of everything and impact the game in so many different ways. He's a very good perimeter spot-up shooter. Every year he grows more comfortable creating his offense off the dribble. He has a little bit of a post game that he can use when defended by smaller opponents, and defensively, he can comfortably defend positions 1 through 4. And finally, to close out the lottery at pick number 14, the Boston Celtics select Precious Achiuwa from Memphis. The Celtics have 3 first-round picks this year, and most of their roster is still under contract next season, so they could very well trade up using those extra picks. But if they stay put here, then Achiuwa could answer some of their interior defensive problems that became noticeable against the Heat in the playoffs. Achiuwa's a very intriguing defensive prospect who can protect the rim, play very smart help defense, switch on to smaller opponents, and hold his own against bigger opponents because of his strength. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below who you want to see your favorite team draft this year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.